562-653-0707. Yes, Winstonius is waiting to take your calls. I have two open phone lines. Oh, and they're ringing right now. 562-653-0707. It's the Heavy T's Grow Show only on
DFZRadio.com.
Top back ain't nothing but a young thug. HKs, I need to join a gun club. Big wheels, big straps, you know I like it super size. Passengers a red bone, her weave look like some curly fries. Inside fish sticks, outside tartar sauce.
Yo, what is? Second hour of Heavy T's Grow Show right here on DFZRadio.com, home of good grow content and more. Don't forget to sign up for Premium Tea. Premium Tea, you get all of the past episodes, all 104, I think there are now, almost 2 years worth of episodes. A Premium Tea newsletter, exclusive giveaways only to subscribers, custom recipes from myself and other members of the Heavy Tea Grow Show, like Horty Chris. Dr. Duff tried to give us one, but of course we will label that with do not attempt on it. A lot more. It's about 33 cents a day just to get hooked up on Premium Tea. Check it out over there on DFCRadio.com. Now, we're coming back live. We've talked a little bit about current events. I've given away already a shit ton of prizes, and I got a shit ton more to give out. In fact, I gave away some of the Black Holes by Black Holes Hydro. Oh, yeah! And let's bring those guys into studio. We have Jason and Nick from Black Holes Hydro's owners operators. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, what's up? How's everybody doing?
Oh, man, we're all chilling. We're all hanging in there. Now, let's get to know you guys a little bit before we go into the product. You guys are longtime growers in the industry, working retail, working distribution. What's your backgrounds?
Yeah, absolutely. We what's it been, 10 plus years at this point in the industry. A lot of friends with retail locations, obviously, and slowly through the years just wanted to find an answer for not having, some sort of top feed dripper that we felt was, adequate for the industry itself. So kind of got us to the point we're at now.
Well, and is that both you guys' background, just industry, or is it in manufacturing and engineering? Because this is a product that's very well manufactured and very well designed.
My background is the machining side of it. I actually made the mold for our product. I've got about 15 years in the industry, and we just kind of came up with this idea and ran with it.
Nice. So you were able to combine the two things that you knew well and were an expert at, and with
exactly
the manufacturing and the growing aspect. Now let's talk about the product a little bit. The product is very unique. It's a simple. It looks very simple, and it's one of those products that, here, let me hold it up to the camera here.
Simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication.
It took 100,000 hours
that is right.
to get that design.
It looks like, someone would say, why the fuck didn't I think of this, right? But it's exactly that, and it took someone with the knowledge and growing experience to look at something and be like, there has to be an easier way. Which one of you two was that guy that made that happen? Or was it a combined effort?
That was definitely a combined effort. I mean, it's just one of those things where, I think you sit around time and time again, and probably like how we all got here is that, we're just trying to find a better way to do things. And I think you see that a lot in this industry at this point, just because it is so young and so it's evolving so quickly at this point.
Right. Now, these are how big? They're about 4 inches?
They're 4 1/4, and they're square. Yep.
Okay, and they're available with 1/4-inch inputs or with 1/2-inch inputs, right?
That's correct, yeah. And then the quarter will actually work with standard drip buttons. So whether
So
it's
your standard drip button, and this is a Netafim?
that's a Netafim, yeah. We actually typically recommend a Netafim just because of their construction. They're definitely a nicer piece than a lot of them out there. There's a lot of companies, you can get them from anywhere, but that's the ones we typically recommend.
And the buttons, expert growers know what's up with the buttons. We have a lot of newbies out there. What are people going to get with this button? This isn't available through black holes. It's just recommended to be used with the 1/4-inch black hole input.
Absolutely.
But what does this do for the grower with a drip system or with your drip system?
Listen up.
Yeah, with when you go to the buttons, the nice thing is, especially with that style, is that's a pressure compensating emitter. What that allows you to do is eliminate the use of ball valves. So as opposed to having, a ball valve at each individual site, you can run hundreds of these if that was the case, or just a couple, without having to regulate your pressure or be too concerned with it. They do that job
It makes
for you.
everything flow nice and evenly to
Exactly.
every site. So if you have a very
Exactly.
large garden or a small garden, you have the same amount of water going on each and every plant. Without those, or without a ball valve on a bigger input, you're just free flowing the water, and the water's going to go to the path of least resistance, and some are going to be waterlogged, some are going to be underwatered. With that, you get nice even irrigation and pressure throughout your entire drip system. And then when it comes out to the black hole, Chris, go ahead and show them the bottom. You have 4 pretty large, evenly distributed holes. Is it 4 or is it
Oh,
5?
there's 6 on the bottom there.
Six,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got my glasses on indoors too. So there's 6 of them that allow it to flow nice and evenly as well, yeah?
Yeah, there is, and the way those holes are set up in the product, if we had one that we cut apart in the bandsaw or something, you could see, but there's actually a raised portion in there that breaks the surface tension of your nutrient solution, so that that reduces the amount of buildup you have over time.
Nice. So you have less salt buildup in it. And let's say someone's using some of Dr. Duff's new salty nutrients.
There you go.
What are you going to do to clean this? Do you recommend just water and like H2O2? Do you recommend some white vinegar through it?
Yeah, any of that stuff works great. Everybody's got their whatever their cleaning solution may or may not be, but as long as it's an ABS safe cleaner, that'll work fine with our product.
Duff would probably fill his mouth up with bleach and then just stick into the inlet and just let it spray out all in his kid's eyes.
I would use Duff tea.
Oh, what? You got Duff tea?
Duff tea comes from within me.
You made some last week.
That's right. Hey, it's Dr. Duff Man here. If you're looking to get that saltiness out, make sure you get the Dr. Duff tea. It's a great flusher. It came from within inside me. There's all kind of microbes inside of it, and acid that breaks down root zone stuff, turns it into nutrients. Get the Duff tea now. Why, it's limited edition from last week. I'm brewing it for all week. It's good to go now. Limited offer. All you gotta do is pour a little 2 drops of an ounce into a
I cut this guy out.
2 drops of an ounce.
So
I'm glad you paid attention.
if someone keeps them on, keeps the black hole rings on keeps them clean, keeps them in use in sunlight or in indoor lighting, how long should one of these last a grower? Is it a lifetime? Is it a few years? Is it one round?
Yeah, obviously that's going to depend on maintenance, but if it was something that you cleaned every harvest or every so often, that you actually were in there doing your maintenance, the cleaner you keep them, the better. But they can go quite some time, especially if you go to this style setup here.
With the pressure compensation?
Yeah, where you run the pressure compensator. All these manufacturers recommend that you run like a 150 micron filter. So if you're doing that, if it doesn't clog your emitter, it's not going to clog our product.
Yeah, and you can get a rain drip filter, inline filter at most good hydroponic stores that you can plug right into 1/2-inch tubing and then go down to 1/4-inch tubing to get to the pressure compensation. And it's a real simple, easy to change out filter. If you guys don't know, even if you're running any drip system with black holes or not, I would recommend to use that. You guys agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the price, and the availability with those, you can't beat them. I mean, you can go to a disc filter, but that would be probably geared towards something that was, far and away much bigger.
How many of these have you seen run off one pump? And how far of a distance do you think? I know it depends on the pump.
Yeah,
but
you can get over 1,000.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No kidding. It actually
no problem.
It will handle the pressure. I guess with the pressure compensator.
Yeah, you don't
have a huge industrial pump.
Exactly. You end up with 0 pressure at our actual dripper itself. All that pressure is behind the drip button. And that's what its job is to regulate down. So yeah, you don't end up with any pressure. This is just drips.
Awesome. And what is what's the max? If no compensation, what's the maximum flow someone can get out of one of those?
I think that we test them they were over 20.
Yeah, 24 gallons per hour.
Yeah.
24 gallons per hour can flow through those openings.
Yeah,
on there,
you can really make them flow if you want to put some pressure to them. We recommend don't use more than 10 psi, but the way that the product is designed, it's got a hermetic seal, so it's not something we recommend, but they're designed toward being safe.
Explain to the people out there that don't understand what a hermetic seal means. That's something where you're not using glue, right?
Yeah, exactly. The way we manufacture these. Good.
I just
It's got a hermetic.
Yeah, exactly. What happens is it's an ultrasonic welding process that joins the two halves together. So there's no adhesive in here. There's a lot of acids and stuff that are used. It's not going to eat away at how this product is put together. So.
And I've seen competing products on the market. Brought into my retail locations where they're falling apart because they're not sealed correctly. It looks like they probably had glue on them or something. To me, when I look at those products, and additionally, those products typically have a big "Made in China" on the label as well. And when I think of those, I think of toxicity, potential bleed off of. What are the toxins out of plastic?
BPEs or
BPs,
BPA, all that shit.
Things like that.
DeVoe.
Now, I assume Made in America with your guys' backgrounds, there's none of that coming off with yours, right?
No, and I mean, that's what it really comes down to is that, one, you're spending your hard-earned money on it. So the last thing we want is for anybody that chooses to spend their money on our product is to have a problem with it. But yeah, let me just say this too. We've yet to have one of these leak or warranty a single one.
Really? How many? Roughly tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
Tens of thousands.
Dang. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot better rate than those other things.
It's pretty beefy.
Yeah.
And look at the size of it. This is what trips me out. I don't understand those people that have those real large rings. Those are for growers that are using huge pots or huge systems. This looks like it's going to fit nicely right on like a 6x6 Hugo or just wrap around my plant nice and easily. It has an opening, so even if I don't start with it, I could apply it to my garden and make things easier on my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they work with a 6-inch Rockwool type, cube or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gallon pot. They work fine. You'd be surprised what this does, even in like a 5 gallon bucket. They're more than adequate.
Right. Well, yeah, and as the water will be pulled across the grow medium, the absorbency of the grow medium is spread out nicely.
Exactly.
And let's take a couple phone calls and see if we could talk about some Black Holes Hydro. Well, let's open this up. 562-653-0707. Before we talk to the guys about Black Holes Hydro, I did give a couple away to Junior in Hemet and to, Kelly in Michigan.
Winning.
They sounded like they were in need of some automation, and I took the initiative to give some away before you guys came on. These guys seem to be smaller gardeners with like a 6-plant setup. Can you guys walk them through a setup? Maybe if they're going to run a 20-gallon res, what size pump they would use with it, if they would do the 1/4 inch or the 1/2 inch, something on your recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I mean, the first thing you'd have to decide is how you want to gear your system. Are you a user that wants to use 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, or that really is going to dictate which direction you're going to go. I would say something on the smaller setup, you're probably going to be running the 1/2 inch setup in the event you went towards the 1/2 inch product. The best way to plumb them is what we call a looped system. So you'd loop around your growing area, and then you would disperse off of that main trunk line and run one single ball valve in line. Typically you see like 150 gallons an hour will do 10 sites, no problem. And we always recommend running a bigger, pump and bigger plumbing than you think you need. It's very easy to regulate down. It's impossible to go up.
Nice. So when they're setting it up, basically, if they don't have it, they're getting the black holes. They're going to get their pump, their reservoir or bucket to go with it, and you're going to need those pressure compensators or the ball valve to regulate it across your garden. And most good hydro stores have those in stock.
Absolutely.
So-
I mean,
so
you
make
got
sure-
them. I checked.
Yeah, make sure that you talk to people and tell them what is going on. If they don't have them, they need to have them, especially if they want to be carrying the Black Holes hydroponic watering system. These are available directly through you guys, or if the store wants to pick them up.
Through retailers, Sunlight distributes our products. So it'd be-
Sunlight Supply, the
it'd
big
be-
boys.
Exactly. It'd be anybody that's an authorized retailer would have access to them. So.
Awesome, dude. Well, let's go and talk to a couple growers out here. Let's talk to Kyle, first-time caller. Kyle, where are you calling from, Kyle?
Kyle, brah.
Kyle, brah.
Where you at?
Kyle, bro.
Kyle's phone died. All right, let's go talk to Vinny. Vinny, Santa Clarita, you're on the air.
Hey, what's happening, fellas?
What's
up,
Vinny?
What's up? Hey, you're on the show here with Heavy T and the boys, and Jason and Nick from Black Holes Hydro.
What's going down? I love the show. I got turned on to drones for a while, and now I play it all the time. I be rolling with the chick and everything, going to work. It's all the time.
Yes.
Don't have to play the radio anymore. Make me go sign up.
I appreciate it.
So, check it out. So I got some, I have seeds, and I want to know if I don't have the hydro set up yet, but I'm doing mine on a little, I got a little closet grow right now. So, and I've got an outside garden I can use. I've got my seeds, and I just want to know, will it be better if I grow these inside, or should I do them outside? Because I'm not really I actually got some good seeds this time, and I want to make sure that they're successful.
Okay, so you're starting your seeds indoors right now.
Well, yeah, I have them
And
inside.
these are some coveted seeds you've been waiting to get your hands on, and you want to know how you should grow them.
Indeed.
Okay. No, well, you guys have a lot of experience, so please chime in if you feel the need to give our man Vinny some advice. If I was waiting for stock and they came in, I'm gonna sex it first if it's not feminized. I'm gonna sex it first, and I'm gonna do that indoors. I don't want to stick them outdoors. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna grow the plants up to a decent size, a couple feet. You're gonna top it at about a foot, so you have all different types of branches coming off, and take plenty of stock clones from every single plant, so you can have plenty of what you're gonna use. By the time you know what's going on with each plant. Once you know what's going on with each plant, some might be something you want, some might not be. Discard the ones that might not be. Okay, if you're not looking for those characteristics, if you're not looking for what's going on with that particular plant. Once you have figured out which one is good to go, I would leave the ones that are indoor, probably flowering indoor. But now the ones that you have taken cuts off, you're still early enough in the season that if you're able to keep those in a vegetative state indoors of 18 to 24 hours light, and you get them outdoors and you can actually have the room and the spot outdoors, and you're able to do it outdoors, you can get them out before summer solstice, and you'll have a harvest before the end of harvest time off of them. So right now is the time to get doing it. You're a little bit late, but that's how I would treat it. You guys have a take on it?
No, I think it definitely. I think is if I heard him right, his question was start indoor or outdoor. You definitely want to start indoor. There's no two ways about it. Especially if you have the access to it. Like you said, you got the closet. So yeah, definitely start indoor.
Yeah, get your plants a little bigger before you put them outside. When you move them outside, make sure you harden them off by gradually introducing them to the sunlight outside. Don't just take them out there and plant them on a nice hot day. And another thing is, if you plan on keeping mother plants, you should take cuttings from your seeds, turn those into mothers, because that's your C1 cut. I've discussed it on the show before. C1 cut never performs as the seed itself, or the C2 cut, which is the second cut from the first cut. So if you ever take a seed, take your cuts off it, flower that seed out. If you like that plant, turn that cut into a mother plant, and then flower cuttings from that plant. If you just try to flower cuttings, like if you grow a plant out and then you take cuttings and then you veg those out and flower them, you're going to be disappointed, because that first cut always isn't as good as everything after it, up until at least cutting 5 or 6. So C2 is preferable, and that's how you do that.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Now I got a question. Should I have? I got a 6-pack. I got the 6 because I thought that was more of a guarantee as opposed to
Same
a
thing.
random.
Start them inside. Get them up to a nice height. Now you have time. If you're guaranteed what they're going to be, you have time to get them to a real good size and get them out there by summer solstice, which is what, June something?
21st, man.
First, yeah, there you go.
Shut up, Duff. Like you fucking know anything.
Making shit up.
This can't even remember his fucking email here. He's like, 21st, bro. What? I know.
I know, man.
I know. I was digging those ditches for that guy up north last year.
That's right.
Oh boy, just like that. The
You want me to
14 hours.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, get them up and also take cuts off of those and keep them going indoors. And like Horty said, use the advice on taking cuts off of them. But then also when you look at them, even if they're feminized, they may not all have the exact same characteristics, and you could really pick the cream of the crop.
I would start at least 3 of the 6. If you don't care, start all 6. I know people who sometimes it's hard to get certain seeds, so when they get their hands on a pack of 6 or a pack of 10, they'll only start a couple just so they can keep the other ones for later. That might be something to do too.
And you know the correct name of the solstice is vernal.
All right. Damn, you just blew our minds. Vinny, where do you shop in Santa Cruz?
A little side shop.
Nice, Mom.
It's probably new. It's not that SCV Hydro one. It's the other one.
Yeah, we know those guys. They're good guys.
Dave at Modern Gardens in Santa Clarita. Cool. Well, let's get you hooked up, bro. For taking clones, I'm going to send you a Clone X clone kit, just like I said before, that has the original Clone X gel, probably the most popular clone gel on the market. I'm also going to send, it has a little shot glass, a little cut tray, and the new Clone X Mist, which Dr. Lynette Morgan did trials on, and it is shown and proven to be shorten your rooting time by 30% and increase your root mass by 150%. So you can take some clones and make sure that you're successful with it of those seeds that you were spending money on. Also, I'm going to send you some smart pots, dude. If you're growing outdoors, you need to be using the patented fabric pot. On those hot days out in Santa Clarita, you're going to want a pot that keeps your root zone up to 30 degrees cooler than other plastic pots. When the plant's in a smart pot, it's like on a hot day. If you put on a cotton shirt soaked in water, that's how it is for the plant. When you have a plastic pot, it's like if you went out on that hot day in a trash bag, and you're just going to be miserable and you're going to be done for. You're going to be dehydrated and whacked. With the smart pot, it's going to give you a fighting chance during the hot summer. And of course, why not simplify your garden, indoor or outdoor? The Black Holes by Black Holes Hydro are going to be the best way to do that. What's he going to be able to do with the Black Holes Hydro? Give him a quick pitch.
For Vinny?
For Vinny.
Oh, Vinny? Oh, Vinny's going to have the ultimate success with our stuff.
He's going to be able to automate it. It's going to be super easy to use. And pots are in the ground any which way, right?
Yeah, any which way. It doesn't matter. Soil, the media doesn't matter. Our product doesn't know what it's watering. So, yeah, you can use it on any of that stuff.
Nice.
Just water.
I'm going to send all that stuff out to Modern Gardens just for you, Vinny.
Oh my God, I'm doing the Arsenio hands right now. You can't see it though.
Hey, Vinny, I want to know your opinion. What would you do to those bastards out in Cleveland that were messing with those young girls?
Oh, man.
Oh man, that's the simplest thing. You know that they're like little girls, right? They're probably cute. Give them the oldest, nastiest girls and force feed them some Cialis, dog.
All right, Vinny, you stay safe.
Take care, guys.
Make me throw up.
They got to feed those guys that pastrami the rest of their lives.
You know what it was, too? It was 3 brothers. What kind of fucked up childhood did those guys have that they were thinking that this was an okay thing to do?
Well, they were listening to salsa music. Did anybody say whether or not they were even legal immigrants or where they came from, or maybe they were just, because I think their names were kind of had a Spanish ring to them?
I believe they were Puerto Rican, so yeah, they were U.S. citizens because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
Aren't Puerto Ricans half black, half Spanish anyways?
I think there's Afro Puerto Ricans and, more Hispanic Puerto Ricans, Native. It's in the Caribbean. It's got the Caribbean vibe.
Yeah.
All right, hey, you got a break ready to go, Saint? Hey, we're here with Jason, with Nick from Black Holes. You want to talk Black Holes Hydro? Call up 562-653-0707. We're going to make a call or two and see if the talent for the pool is on the way right here on
supposed to be.
Show.
DFZradio.com.
Black
Holes and UFOs.
Everything about me, everything about me, everything about me, everything everything about me. Everything about me. Rolling, pocket swollen, riding in it like it's stolen. Weed it, hella conceited. If it ain't about money, nigga, I don't need it. Got 100 grand in my ashtray. Spend 100K on a bad day. And I'm tatted like a cholo, nigga, act crazy. My dogs go loco. Kush got me moving slow-mo. With my nigga problem, that's my bro. Came in through the back door. 10 mil this year on a low.
We're here with Black Holes Hydroponics, so we do have a couple lines open to talk drip system setup, talk watering, nutrients, growing in general. You're on with experts from Black Holes Hydro and, of course, the Heavy Tea regular crew. So 562-653-0707. Now, when we were out in the safety green room out there, getting extra safe, everyone knows where the fire extinguishers are, of course. You know where at the safety meeting. That's
No, but I know where the door's at.
Exactly, the exit. The exit.
Well, it might
Anyway,
be on fire though.
yeah.
That's all right.
So, guys, I was thinking, we touched on it, but we didn't really elaborate on it. What a big deal it is that this product is made in the United States, and I want to know, how difficult is it to manufacture a product on that scale, being a plastic style mold, and with all the intricacies that you guys have, to have a cost affordable product, bring it to market, and be profitable? How did you guys accomplish that?
Listen up.
Well,
They don't
like I
pay
said,
Sam.
Don't worry about him. That's
I've been in the industry for a while now, so I've been able to get to know a lot of these guys that are doing the molding and all that stuff, and just built a relationship with them. So when it came down to it, just
Was going overseas ever option for you guys? Did you look at it and say, well,
We kind of tossed around the idea, but at the end of the day, it really meant something to us to be able to say it's made in the USA.
absolutely.
You know,
I think so.
Huh?
Same here.
Yeah, and it's tough to do. It really is. I mean, it's you see a lot of these bigger companies doing it. So obviously, there's a reason that everyone's done that. And it went there 20 years ago. It's not something that's new. So
Yeah.
it's definitely tough to do, but it's just something we wanted to do for our brand that we built. So, but we're not going there. We're not going to go there now, regardless of, it's definitely tougher to make money and do it. There's no doubt about it. But it's important to us.
When I say the made in the USA, what I think is this is a company that's not sacrificing their values of who they are and what they want to be just for a couple cents more or even $1 or something more. At the end of the day, your reputation rides on what is essentially a plastic ring. It's a great idea and everything, but if that was turned out of Shenzhen or something and didn't come out right, your whole reputation would be lost.
Absolutely, and I think, Hordy probably knows this too. It's a different product when you see it. If it was done here, if it was done there, you can see a difference in the construction.
Oh, and the weight and the sturdiness of it, so much so.
I got a friend of mine in the industry who was like, dude, you have got to start making the dust room in China. It's really not that technically. I mean, it's already
went
been
to
designed.
Shenzhen and did it.
So I gave him a sample, and he went to China, and he had one made, and then they sent it back, and it was a couple dollars cheaper than what I pay here.
Yep.
And it was definitely cheaper. And I was thinking to myself, okay, and what do you have to order? And the amount that I had to order, if I got stuck with those and they were fucked up, if the oil that they put on them was wrong or the foam wasn't cut right or it didn't, I mean, Unifilter makes mine by hand in Fullerton. I can drive over there in 20 minutes and inspect what's going on. If you get 3 containers full of dust streams delivered to you and they're fucked up, it would take me years to recoup that loss on a product that I can't sell.
And what unfortunately it does happen more often than people
Absolutely.
know, and people are not have the best intentions and put those out on the market and just hope that some people won't notice or that the failure rate isn't as high. If you do that, you're killing your brand.
Yeah, and everyone, well, maybe not everyone knows, but old school heads know Diamond Lighting Supply.
Yep.
They were the ballast, period. They had all those reflectors. You either had Diamond or you had Hamilton bullshit ballast, and then they went to China. They manufactured a bunch of ballast, and they gave retailers like half the price of what you normally would pay for a ballast back in those days. I know guys who ordered pallets of ballast from them, Every single one of them had a bad capacitor. They all failed, and Diamond went out of business within 3 months. They disappeared. And they were huge. They were larger than the big companies with their lighting products are now, and they disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go that far. They were huge, but they
They probably accounted for at least 8 out of 10 ballast or reflector sales back
we all
then.
know it was either diamond ballast, or you had your capacitor, your igniter, and your
Hamilton,
transformer screwed onto a 2x4.
Like
The
those
Canadian
modern day
style.
Canadian.
Modern day Canadian ballast.
Well, yeah, the other thing
Time you talked about it.
the other thing with your product too, to any of us car guys, obviously uni means something, you know.
Absolutely.
You don't get uni in China, you know.
Right. And like I said, I mean, if you're going to get someone to make a foam filter for you, you go to uni. It just is what it is.
Boom.
It is what it is. Let's get back to the phone line. Scott in Jacksonville has been holding for quite a while. Scott in Jacksonville, you're on the Heavy Tea Grow Show.
Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing tonight?
Good.
What
Well,
up,
you're staying up late back there. How's the weather in Jacksonville, huh?
Man, it's been great weather, but it rained for like 5 days straight. Finally, that moved through. So glad to hear you're on here, Jason. And Nick, I met you out there at Denver briefly. I didn't go out. I
Nice.
can't spend much time with you out there, but the all samples were gone. But yeah, I've done a lot of research. I think your product is very interesting, and I'd love to move forward on taking a look at it, actually.
Well, maybe we could help make that happen for you tonight, Scott. But first, what's your grow question?
Here's my question for you guys, and I know you're probably all going to have a little bit of a different answer, so I'm real curious. The methodology that you're using for when you're pruning after you move into a bloom phase, I mean, I've read, pros and cons on both sides of the fence, so I'm sure you guys are going to have some wildly different answers. So,
Okay, pruning during the bloom phase. Why don't we start at this end of the table with Dr. Doofus?
Yeah.
You know what? I cut every damn big leaf off so that
So there's no photosynthetic.
the flowers are just exposed. The best.
But you have no flowers on your plants.
Well, did I get at least one?
Oh, those nodes.
It
Those
looks
nodes.
like a flower. And then
right.
it turns brown and dies.
All right, Jason, how about you? In your experience, how do you like to prune, if you do like to prune during
Oh
bloom?
yeah, absolutely. That's real dependent upon, first off the size and kind of how you set it up to that point. If I were gonna do it, you definitely want to do it at some point. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But probably after transition would be a good time to do it.
Yeah, because transition is a stressful period already,
Yeah.
and when you're hacking up the plant, you can add the stress if you overdo it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd say sometime after transition. Then I think it's gonna be. There's a lot of variables. I think it's gonna be really dependent upon kind of where you're at.
I agree.
That's not what my gardener said.
Yeah, you use your hedge trim in the entire bloom. Hody.
I like to keep my plants short. I like to top them frequently. I like to top them maybe 1 or 2 days before I move them into bloom, and then I typically will clean up the bottom few inches when I first move them in. And over the course of the next week to 14 days, any little stuff that starts to grow out of the bottom, I kind of try to keep an eye on it, and then I let the plants go up. If I see a branch really shooting up above everything else, I might even top that in the first week just to kind of stun it and get the lower branches to catch up. But I always, within 2 weeks, once the top of the plant has no more leaves coming out of it and it's just flower material, at that point I like to strip off pretty much anything that's not getting light from the canopy because it's just sucking power from my tops.
Yep. Nick?
okay.
I'm going to agree with Duff on this.
Right, awesome.
He's using Duff's nutrients.
And, Scott, I think we're all pretty much going to say close to the same thing. Topping the plant, I like to do before you flip them in there, before the transition period. When you top the plant, you're basically taking the auxin that is the vertical inhibitor to the other branches away. So every other branch wants to come up and become the top. Every other node tries to become little wispy branches. So when you top it, you got to get some growth out of the rest of it to get it to the size and those other branches to the size that you want to continue. At that point, I do a nice pruning before I flip too of some of those lower branches that maybe shot up that are just shrapnel. Those are bullshit. Get them out of there. They're going to be just suckers. The real strong branches that can bear fruit, you're going to keep on there. When you flip them, again, that's a stressful period, so you don't want to correlate a real heavy pruning at that time either. Just like Jason was saying, you're going to wait till after the transitional period, see some more vertical growth, letting you know the stress is already overcome. If you use some B vitamins, some seaweed extract, some root stimulator, at the same time with your base nutrients during the transitional period, it will help it overcome that stress a bit faster. But then I prune pretty much the entire bloom cycle, and it's not where I'm as aggressive pruning down branches and things, but what I am doing is I'm moving larger fan leaves that may be blocking prime fruiting sites. I'm removing older fan leaves that start to be chlorotic and removing those off. They're starting to turn yellow. Those are just suckers. And then if I still have maybe a few branches that are trying to shoot up that are just the little wispy ones, again down low, I clear it off. And like Cordy said, that is pretty much the bottom third to 2/3 of the plant, depending on your grow style. Colorado, you're on with the Black Hole, boys. Black Hole's Hydro.
The black hole has solved this mystery that I've been trying to connect all these buckets so I could feed them all at the same time. So this is really great.
It is.
To be able to, and they only cost $4.95. Nobody has said that.
Well, you know, that's a good point. The price point is so affordable compared to a comparative one. You know, so $5 on either will size, the half inch or the quarter inch.
They're both the same.
Cool.
My question is, what is that quarter-inch regulator thing called that you put on them?
It's a drip pressure compensator.
Drip pressure.
Yeah, and go ahead and tell them the brand again.
Yeah, these are the ones we recommend are made by a company called Netafim. That's Netafim. And you want to use either a 2-gallon-per-hour dripper. I think you can get like a 4 or a 6. Those all work fine.
I know that you're an avid gardener out in Colorado, so I'm going to get you a small care package of the Black Hole rings. What size would you want, the quarter inch or the half inch?
I think the quarter inch because of the regulators.
Yeah, buddy. You know what we could do too is we brought some of the pressure compensating emitters in, so on Lance's box we'll toss them in there so he doesn't have to
Lance has a box. Lance, you got a
Dr. Duff, you have to
box.
tell him this. He's the shipping guy.
That's great.
Oh, you're never gonna get them in.
I forgot everything about shipping, Lance.
Lance is a long-time listener.
I used to work at Acme Hardware at 150 South La Brea, Los Angeles, California, 90028. I know everything about shipping.
10 Pacific Standard Time. Who's hooking you up with the freshest grow knowledge and the dopest grow gear?
How these grows so bad? Yeah, awesome!
Yeah, I'll be good in bed, but I'll be bad to you.
What it is, Duff Free Army, we're back here in the safety meeting area, hanging with the Black Hole's Hydro crew on this beautiful Wednesday night, dropping fresh grow knowledge and dope grow gear.
Hey, I'm Nick from Black Holes Hydro. We're just hanging out in the studio, staying safe.
Peace.
Tap the table.
I'll take a whiskey shot with you guys.
Do it, hurry up.
Hey, girl, check it out.
You got her.
Are you going to Novi?
They asked me to go, but my customer's on the East Coast, so if I can get away, I'll
Some
go.
of your East Coast customers will be showing up there too. Is your man coming with you to Novi?
Good.
Probably not. He works out here.
Hey, you can come stay with me and Harvest Honey. We can have a great time.
JD doesn't know how to party with me.
Oh, don't worry, girl. Hey, I'll have her hit you up. She is
If you guys are going to Novi, I'm going to have to go to Novi.
I am the Sex Panther, and she is my kitten.
That sounds like a sound. We don't want to party.
Shit.
Oh, shit.
Megalomaniac doesn't care about cheersing anyone. Pinky out, tap the table. Pinky out, tap the
I
table.
just don't want to spill over this custom-made table that I paid multiple thousands of dollars for.
Damn, you got ripped off. That's say.
You shouldn't let Duff lean on it.
Say, could have had that made for you for like $30.
Sergio might have been.
Yeah, probably.
Sergio.
Yeah, because wasn't his dad working at a wood shop?
Hey, Saint, do you know Sergio?
You guys are from the same wood?
I thought all Mexicans knew each other.
Yeah. Well, they're all related.
That's just
They
a
don't
myth.
know each other.
One of the Raider fans.
I don't believe in that.
Okay, stop talking over everyone, Duff.
I say I don't believe in it.
Simmer.
Mag drives and all that stuff does generate heat, but for the length of time you're running your pump, it's not a concern.
I was just wondering because of the smaller reservoir size, you know.
What size reservoir are you running?
Well, right now I'm running about a 20-gallon reservoir on it, but I'm doing drain to waste. But if I wanted to recirculate, was kind of my.
It would not be an issue.
How often do you change that 20-gallon resi?
Oh, right now I do drain to waste.
No, I know, but you do
I've been
drain to
looking at-
waste. So, okay, so you mix up a 20-gallon and you pump it all the way through, and then you mix up another one
Every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
every day?
That's
Okay.
a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
Well, not every day, about every
3 days,
or so.
4 days.
Yeah.
yeah, that's not too bad.
The pump is not going to heat your nutrient solution
Yeah.
to a point where it's going to, potentially affect your root zone or something like that. I wouldn't be concerned.
Thank you, man.
Hey, we're not quite done yet. We're gonna.
Rolling, pocket swollen, riding in it like it's stolen. Weed it, hella conceited. If it ain't about money, nigga, I don't need it. Got 100 grand in my ashtray. Spend 100K on a bad day. And I'm tatted like a cholo, nigga, act crazy. My dogs go loco. Kush got me moving slow-mo. With my nigga problem, that's my bro. Came in through the back door.